Right, 9 minutes past the top of the hour. Karibu sana. This is Morning Cafe. It's a Tuesday. Good to have you right here. And kama kawaida, on Tuesdays, it is Biashara Tuesday, business and innovation. For today's conversation, we talk about something that many Kenyans look at on at afar, like a caged animal, pale mbali, wanaona, should I not? And when you take a look at the huge percentage of the country's population, 75% plus, are the young people. And these are young people who are either trying to get into employment or are self-employed. And the big question is, should I take mortgage? That's what we're asking you today. Have you ever taken a mortgage? What has your experience been? We'll be filling in your comments, your feedback as we continue, because for today's conversation, we have the right mind for this. She is the Director of Mortgages Business at KCB Bank, Caroline Wanjiri. Good to have you. She has been back in 2010 there. I don't know where I was there at that time. She was the head mortgage sales at Standard Chartered. This just goes to show how much knowledge she has on this conversation, and she has a special focus on youth and women enterprise programs. So definitely buckle up for this conversation. Karibu sana, Wanjiri.
Thank you very much.
Anything that I haven't added onto your intro?
No, you have said it. If I was to say my CV on TV, it will take the full show.
Hey, okay.
So I think that does it.
Right, great. Your thoughts about the uptick of mortgages in Kenya. First of all, do you think when you have normal conversations with, again, youth as well as women in some of these micro and small enterprises, and just telling them when that word comes up, mortgages, what is their kind of facial expressions? Do they understand when you tell them mortgages? Ama wanakwambia, Wanjiri, itabidi hapo tuelezee kidogo tena hii mortgage ni nini?
So generally speaking, mortgage uptake in the region, let's look at it as even Africa, is quite low compared to the developed market. So when you come back home, Kenya, it is a paltry 3.8% of our GDP. Now, if I compare that with a country like South Africa, way ahead. South Africa is in the ranges of 40% of their GDP, and that tells you, almost everybody owns a home. And what that tells you is that quite a few people own their homes in Kenya. And a mortgage really is a home loan. And typically, when you finished your campus, the first thing you probably wanted to do is to get a nice ride, yeah? It's never top of mind for us to think about a home.
Or the whole conversation of either
buy a car, do I buy a house, yeah? First thing that comes, when you're young, your energy is up, you're thinking of buying a car.
Yeah.
But I think one of the experiences when I talk especially to the youth and young people was from myself. The fact that I thought, home ownership was the first journey that I needed to start. And I started very humbly. I started with a plot. In Kenya, they say if you don't have a plot, especially as a man. But anyway, somehow I started with a plot, and I got myself, to build my house eventually. So my advice to the young people is normally think, shelter is at the basic of the hierarchical need for masculine need. So you must stay in a house the same way you must eat your food. Yeah, you don't have to drive a car. True or false? But you must stay in a house, you must eat food. So it's a basic need. And if we can start early enough to start thinking of investing towards a home, and don't think about, many people think about a home and the first thing they think, I have to buy a mansion in Lavington.
Yeah.
You can start that journey, and banks have developed products. At KCB, we develop products where you can start actually from a plot. That can cost you even as cheap as 300,000 shillings,
And then just speak of the figures, we'll be getting to that. Something that we love doing on Biashara Tuesday, just breaking the numbers here today. And you can always be part of this conversation. You can always be part of it. We'd love to hear your voice. The numbers below your screens, 0795 045 864. First of all, have you ever heard about a mortgage? If you've experienced it, what has been your experience? If you've ever taken a loan, or someone who has, what has been your experience? Either the positive side or the negative side as well. On WhatsApp here, tutakuwa tunaangalia message zenu 0793 267 279 or short code 22047. Call in and ask Wanjiri all these questions. I'm pretty sure she's waiting for them and she'll be answering them for you. So usiogope kutupigia simu. Something else that has kept my mind that I need to again tell you, we'll be keeping our eyes at State House live. President William Ruto is expected to officially launch Raila Odinga for the Africa Union chairmanship bid campaign. So moments from now, we might be forced to pause this conversation and head there. So stick around for that as well. And I had mentioned about the whole calculator bit, this per KMRC. We're going to be using the calculator just to understand all that. But before you even get to the calculator, so you've convinced a young person that, hey, you know what, kabla uanze kufikiria gari right now, think about a house. And this is hypothetically someone who is in the prime, to 25 years there, they've gotten their first job, they're probably being paid about 45,000, and we'll be breaking that in numbers. So how do you convince, if now they walk into your office and they tell you, now tell me about this conversation about a mortgage, where do I start?
So I think the first thing, looking at our demographics as a country, we can comfortably say 80% of our population is the youth. So it's actually a typical guy, the guy that you've mentioned, who's just started their job, probably earning 50,000 shillings and below. and when they think through, how do I start the home ownership journey? And I said, there's a pathway where you can start from a plot and we help you build, because we can combine the two. We say plot and construction at the same time.
Okay.
But one of the other things we've done to really take care of this segment, which we think is very critical, is to have 105% financing. So you don't need to put in any down payment. We actually even go ahead and take care of some of the costs that come with a mortgage, whether it's the legal fees, whether it's the stamp duty that you're required to pay. So you don't need, all you just need to do is to make a decision and say, this is the house I have chosen, this is the amount that I'll be paying. And I normally say, you look at a young person, and I'll pick the same typical youth that you have picked, who's earning 50,000. Where will they want to live? They don't want to live in shags. In fact, majority, the reason why we are having a very high, rural urban migration is because a lot of these young people want to be in the cities. So they want to live in a nice house. They don't want, in fact, when you ask them, so where are you thinking of your first home? They will not mention Umoja. They want to say, I want to stay in Kili, I want to stay in,
Okay.
But, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with that first step.
Yeah.
And you can ask yourself, so I'm earning 50,000, what's my rental budget? Let's say, help me, maybe 15, 20? Let's say even 20.
Okay.
Because majority, to get a typical one-bedroom house is 20,000. But I can tell you, for that same 20,000, maybe slightly more, I tell you, add an additional 6,000, you'll be able to comfortably get a one-bedroom house, which will give you, which you will pay around 26,000. And I know we'll go to practical so that you can see. And
because you've already started with the numbers, and I know you're sharp in the numbers, you'll be breaking them in a few. So, my director, Naomba, we just get into the numbers with the help of our whiteboard here. So we have the pen here. I'll just have to stand. I think at some point I'll have to again request you to smile. Let's use, I think you come blue it on a canna. You can even go online, the young people are very digital. Go on and we can pick a calculator, put in amount. Should we start with the whiteboard or the calculator? Let's start with the calculator. Okay, just to show. Good stuff. Yeah, okay. Let's just start with the calculator and just show, So this calculator is for the Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. And why are we using it is because KMRC is a sole institution which is licensed to carry out mortgages, liquidity facility activities in Kenya, which again allows banks like KCB to again use this. So we have this calculator which again typically everyone uses for the benefit. So we have the first one, home sale price. So I'll give you an example. Let's say today you say, I actually don't want to, I don't have money to buy the house, yeah? Okay. Let's say you say plots even around the area of Thika Road, around the area of Umoja, 50 by 100, you will get at, can I be able to type here? Yes. You'll be able to get this at first one, 500,000. Yeah. Let's even talk, and that's actually on the higher side. Let's put it at 350,000, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Enter. Enter. Yeah. Down repayment, I said we are doing 105% financing. You don't need anything. So that's 0.
And we say, remember we're saying these are youth, this is a person who still has a lot of life.
So down payment for someone, layman's language.
So down payment is a deposit.
Okay.
When you want to buy a house, kila mtu anakuambia weka deposit chini kushow commitment.
Okay.
So for us, you don't need to pay any deposit.
Okay.
Yeah, because we will show the commitment. We'll give you an offer letter that you're able to show the person that's selling you the house. So let's say we pick 25 years. This is somebody who can qualify for the maximum years, yeah?
So typically, again, hypothetically, let's say 25 years.
25 years.
So what does this mean? Is the payment?
This is the term that they will take to pay the loan.
Okay.
Which they don't have to take that long. They can actually decide. Every time they get a bonus or they get some windfall, put in and the loan goes down, yeah?
Now, before we even get to the interest rate, because this is one of the things that even for the affordable housing scheme, even from the government, people are always trying to understand, does it mean that after I complete paying, after the 25 years given here, is when I'm getting into this house, or do I get into the house meanwhile as I continue paying?
You get into the house, a sale agreement has a typically 90 days. So 90 days, once we finish the sale, everything, unaingia kwa nyumba. Na unasahau maneno ya rent. So this is actually the repayment replaces your rent. Yeah? So we go back here. So currently we are at 9.5% under the affordable housing that you have rightly mentioned, in partnership with the KMRC.
Okay.
And we calculate. It's just as simple as that. Let's calculate and see. Okay. Okay, let's see what is missing.
So the currency?
Currency is Kenya shillings. Kenya shillings. Okay, let's see. Okay, value. What is missing? Can we put 0? Let's put 0.
Let's try again.
Yep. Calculate. Yep.
Okay, there you have it.
Can you imagine?
Let me have that.
So this is I just want to make it, I want to break it down to very simple. Today you feel, I don't have money to buy the house, but I want to start the journey and still feel comfortable of having my VITs, because I don't want to deny our youth from, buying that car. It can only cost you as low as 3,000 shillings to start your home ownership journey by getting that plot.
Okay.
Now let me make it sweeter. Take us back to the calculator. So let's say, 3,000 is very little. Yes. And when I was talking about windfall, you realize in between there, have some money, have some bonus, at the end of the year. And you decide this is very little. Clear it within the first 3 years and say, now I want to take my construction loan. Take me back to the calculator.
The back button.
New calculation. Is it a 1? Yeah. Clear.
To ready tenor. And I think as well, so back at home they can also do this.
Yes. You just go into the website.
Yes, so KMRC ndio tuende pia na wewe
home calculator.
KMRC home calculator. Yeah. So again, we had the
so
first.
So you have paid your plot loan. You were only paying 3,000 shillings per month. So you decide cost of building a typical, even a 3-bedroom house, 3 million, or even if you want to buy. In fact, you decide that plot. Remember, land always appreciates. You say, I bought this plot at 350, 5 years down the line, it's probably worth $1 million, 1.5. You say, that 1.5 now I want to get into the next step. Yeah? And you say, I want to buy a house. So today I'm speaking practically. As I stand here today, we have a joint event with one of the projects that we have financed where you can actually acquire a studio at 2.2 million. So I want to be very practical. It's Beulah City, it's somewhere near the Vasha Road.
Okay.
Yeah? So you say, I want to graduate, and you want to, let's put 2.2 million here. Yeah?
Down payment.
Zero again. We still want to make your journey of home ownership very easy.
Okay.
You still qualify for your 25. Remember, you're a youth. Still qualify for your 25 years.
A quick one.
Many years.
The payment as well, so that you can also continue elaborating for us. What determines the payment years? Is it an individual?
So it's your age.
Okay.
It's your age.
Okay.
Because then we've got to tie it either to your retirement, or if you're running a business, to a maximum of 15 years. Yeah. The reason why we say for business a maximum of 15 years, businesses have got a life cycle. Let
me interrupt you a bit. We do have a call. Nancy kutoka from Kisii. Nancy, habari asubuhi. Nancy, habari asubuhi. Hello, yes.
Mzuri sana. I just wanted to ask.
Yes.
For example, I want to buy a house and it's 10 million, right?
Okay.
So do I need, in that 10 million, do I need to make a down payment? Well, I don't have that down payment. It has always been my dream to buy a house. And the house is 10 million and I don't have the down payment for 10 million. So, and then again, how many years will it take? Is it a must? It takes 25 years. Because now at my age, because I've had her saying that it's a must you look at the age and retirement and all that. Now, when will I even enjoy this house? Because by the time I think, because I'm 35, it takes 25 years, I'll be around 60. I won't even enjoy my house because nimekuwa nikilipa madeni hiyo time yote. And then again, if I die and I haven't finished paying, maybe it was 20 years, I've died at 15 years now. What happens to that house?
Right.
Will it be a burden to my kids or will they just take the house?
So. Thank you very much, Nancy from Kisii. Salimia sana watu wa Kisii. Back at home, wherever you are, you can always also call us live. The number is on your screen, 0795 045 864. Onjeri, beautiful question there from Nancy.
Nice one from Nancy.
Yeah.
So Nancy, first of all, so yes, under affordable housing that we have with KCB, you actually do not need to put a down payment. So yes, we'll be able to look at the 10 million house that you're looking for. Actually, the maximum currently under affordable housing is 10.5 million.
Okay.
So as long as you're buying a house 10.5 million and below, you can get under the affordable housing. The one that I'm saying that it's at 9.5%. So the other question, she says she's 35 and she's saying I won't enjoy the house.
Yes.
You will be in the house. I said after 90 days of the sale agreement and we finish the conveyancing, and really to break down what conveyancing is the process of the lawyers charging the title. The house becomes yours. The compound becomes yours. The only thing that a bank has is a charge in the land office. So it's your house.
So if for example, in Nancy's case, so the house is 10 million.
Yes.
In the 90 days, how much should she have paid?
None.
Zero. Oh, none. Oh, zero. Okay.
I said it's zero. So all she needs to do is to tell me where the house is, yeah?
Interesting. Okay.
What we will do is to value the house, confirm that the value actually does match the 10 million.
Okay.
She doesn't need to make any down payment.
All right.
We do the paperwork, confirm that, her income can cover, and that's it. And she's still 35.
Yes.
That tells you she still has another 25 years.
Yeah.
Because retirement takes up to 60 years. She's concerned that, what happens if I die and, my people are left. So one of the things that we do when you take a mortgage, it's got what we call mortgage protection cover.
Okay.
So even if you die day one, after you've gotten into that house and we gave you 10 million, that whole house goes to your next of kin. We don't charge you.
Okay.
So every mortgage comes with a mortgage protection cover and also comes with a fire cover, what we call house ownership cover, to ensure that if there's a fire or something that happens, then again also the house reverts to your kin. So it doesn't matter. You don't need to get worried about death.
And before that train of thought skips us,
Yeah.
because you say that in case of the person who was paying this passes, the house now goes to the next of kin. So does the next of kin continue paying this, or what happens in that cover?
No. Once you die, that's it. The next of kin does not pay.
So now it
Whether
automatically belongs
even
to...
if the loan was 10 million shillings, probably you had only paid 2 installments, the next of kin does not pay a cent. It's done.
Interesting, okay.
So you're protected, which is much better. Look at it this way. If Nancy was renting and was paying rent, what would happen? You think the landlord cares that she has died? Within few minutes, evicted.
Yeah.
You can imagine maybe Nancy had just started her family. She has her 2 kids. Her relatives will have to start thinking of how to accommodate their children. And we even have instances where, it's somebody who is even single and they had children. Can you imagine when they've passed on and then they have to start thinking about relatives accommodating them and all that?
Yeah. But then one of the biggest questions, because when you put it like that, many people watching us this morning, they're now interested. Okay, all right. How do now mostly banks and even KMRC have that, make sure that not all and sundry qualify for this? What elements do you look at? Do you look at account balance ya mtu, unaangalia unaona for this person they fit to actually be in this mortgage? What happens there?
So there are various things we look at. I keep telling the young people, I remember when the Hustler Fund was launched, a lot of them came and borrowed. I always say, please borrow but pay. your credit history is very important because those are some of the things that speak indirect about you.
Okay.
They tell us about your character without us necessarily knowing you. So today, if I went to your, M-Pesa loan repayment, KCB loan M-Pesa, I check your Hustler loan repayment, how you're paying that. Trust me, I will have 50% of the kind of a character you are when it comes to payment of loans. So one of the things I urge the young people, please pay your loans. Plan well, ensure you pay your loans because any bank will always look at your credit history and they will check how you're paying your loans. The second thing, of course, we look is at the income. Of course, I know it's embedded in, I'm sure you're aware, it's embedded on law. You cannot commit more than a third of your income. So today, if you're earning 100,000 shillings, I don't expect you to commit more than 33,000 shillings towards a loan repayment because there are other needs. You need to eat. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs, There's food, there's school fees. So I don't expect you to commit more than a third of your loan repayment. But what happens with our young people? You find, because we don't want to live, we want to get there very fast. You find somebody today is earning 100,000, but it's probably even paying rent of 50,000 or is paying rent of, 40,000. That already is a red signal. Whether it's your rental or whether it's your loan repayment, it should never go more than a third of your income because in there you need to pay for other things and you need to have a small portion. I normally advise 10% of your income should actually go towards saving. Open an account, buy money market instruments on a monthly basis, wherever you want to put it, but where it earns something. But at least 10% of your earnings should go towards a saving for a dry day, you never know, things happen. So those are the things we look at. Your ability to pay, what is your level of income, how many years do you have to retirement, if it's your business, how your cash flows, what is the trend, how much money do you have tied with your creditors, how many debtors are you having, and maybe inside there actually provide some advisory, especially for the businesses, and probably tell you, you're giving too much debt. You need to cut it. You need to reduce the days. Maybe don't give them 60 days, give them up to 30 days.
30 days,
Look at your creditors and tell you need to start managing, don't have too much or leverage on them, and use that as part of your working capital.
Right.
So just there in between looking at all that, and then we are able to advise appropriately.
Right. So back to our KMRC calculator. In case you're just joining us right now, we're taking a look at this Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company calculator. KMRC is the sole institution which basically provides some long-term funds for banks, SACCOs, and microfinance institutions. So that is the sole calculator that you definitely use. And back at home, we were saying you can also use this KMRC home calculator. And when an assist, in case as you continue, you feel like you have a couple of questions, don't be afraid to pigia simu. The number is below your screen, 0795 045 864. Umebadilisha some figures.
I'm putting 2.7. I want to be very practical because these are units for the next few days we'll be at Kasarani with about 161 churches. And again, just targeting the youth. We've gotten into a partnership with the Beulah City who are putting up affordable housing units. So this is 2.7. This is a studio, which I believe, a young person who's just started their career. It's a decent house, very nice house.
Right. Let me.
So down payment is zero. You don't need any down payment, assuming you can still qualify for that. This is practical. This is what you can do actually today.
So 9.5.
9.5%. Currency is Kenya shillings. Let's try and calculate that. So there we go.
We have the amount.
23,000. We can even round it down to 24,000 shillings. Yeah. I can tell you there are a lot of people who are watching today and listening today, and they're paying rent more than this.
Oh yes.
Because I can tell you, majority are paying between 30. Because to pay for even a one-bedroom in Kilmani, Kilelesho, it's about 30, 35,000. But with just 24,000 shillings, you have a home. A piece of your own, and you can decide, okay, Mimi, I'm feeling niko pale juu kidogo, I don't want to live in a studio. You can actually choose to rent this studio. It will give you rent of 18,000. You become a landlord. That 18,000, instead of paying rent at 35,000, you minus it, your rent comes to So you can choose. You can say, staki kuishi kwa studio. I want to
Right.
become, and this is very, I'm talking of junction suits. And it's just an example. I'm just amongst many that we have done.
Okay.
We've gotten into partnership with National Housing Corporation. And all those units they're doing in Langata, you know, depending on where you want to live in the country, they're available. So you can actually become a landlord.
Right. Let's hear from Nimrod from Eldoret. Nimrod, habari ya asubuhi. Hello Nimrod, habari ya Eldoret City.
Eldoret mzuri sana.
Yes, naomba upaze sauti yako kidogo tu and then
Okay.
sijui kuna swali au ni maoni.
Niko na swali.
Yes, uliza.
Okay, niko na shamba prime plot.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Niko na prime plot
okay.
within one of the CBDs. Na niko na title deed. Yule hata nimeshindwa kujenga. Na surrounding environment wote wako na apartments, magorofa yangu peke yake tu ndo plot hivyo tu sijajenga.
So
Within the CBD, what is the CBDs? How do I go about nijenge rentals?
okay. Anjuri, have you had the question?
Yes, I've had the question.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nimrod, for that. Yes.
So I've had the question. You have a plot, it's within CBD in Eldoret. The beauty is, I think KCB, we pride ourselves. We opened our 207th branch in Italy the other day. So we have over 200 branches, and I know in Eldoret we have like about 5 branches that he can walk in.
Okay.
But that is commercial, so I would advise that you walk into one of our branches so that we can guide you in the process. There are many ways you can do. Maybe you don't have the cash and you want us to help you identify somebody who you can get into a joint venture with. Or if you have the ability, then we can be able to look at the concept of what it is you want to put. We do guide that, you know, it's always good to do a feasibility study. He's mentioned, you know, there are already flats within there. It's good to do a feasibility study, see, you know, what are the rentals within the area, what is the return on investment, so that even as he gets and embarks into the project, then he can be able to see what his value is. There are many vehicles that he can use. Today I said if he feels he doesn't have the money to build, there are investors who have the money, they don't have the land, and his contribution becomes the land for the plot. So just walk into any of our branches in Eldoret and we'll be able to guide you.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something Nimrod has mentioned that you've alluded to as well, the whole commercial bit of it. So earlier on, you're telling us that now for just a residential plot, hypothetically, let's call him Peter. Peter alikuwa this mortgage, and then some months later he passes. Now the home belongs to the next of kin.
Yeah.
So now what happens to the bit of now a commercial place? Let's say Peter took this, but then it was meant to be, let's say, supermarket or something commercial, really. Does it go to the next of kin? What happens in this kind of mortgage setup?
It's the same. So for every mortgage you take with the bank, there has to be a mortgage protection cover. And remember, mortgage protection cover covers your life for the life of the mortgage. So it's tied to the mortgage and tied to your life. So you can decide today, we've done a project, a commercial project as, let's say, Mr. and Mrs. And we put you both on cover. And what happens is that if either, now that's the beauty, if either of the two, something happens and, you know, you pass on, even the second person does not need to pay. That's it. It's done. It's paid. So it's left to, that wealth is left to run through the next of the family. So it applies for both. Whether it's a residential home or whether it's a commercial home, the mortgage protection cover applies for both.
Right. Good people, I hope you're taking notes on this. I hope you have your calculator there, Nasimu, and you're writing notes on this, because it is a conversation that you really need to know. If you have the number of questions that they're very burning, unafaa ulize 0795-045-864 is the number to call us. 22047 is our SMS number. WhatsApp number yetu iko pale 0793-267-279. So before you even ask those questions, let me also ask a couple of them. We're working this, so the monthly payment here, you tell us around of, let's say, 24,000. So the hypothetical of this is, for the next 25 years, each and every single month, you're paying roughly 24,000. Isn't that a utopia kind of a feeling? Because either someone is employed or they're self-employed. Itafika to one of those months that, or even years, that you won't be able to pay that 24,000. But before you answer that, we have a caller. Bwana Director, ni nani huyo? Joseph from Mombasa. Habari ya Joseph?
Yes. Mzuri sana.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia. Ni swali au maoni?
Ni swali tu nataka kuuliza.
Yes, uliza.
Nauliza, this deal is too good, yeah?
Yes.
Is there any a disadvantage? Because every advantage has a disadvantage. Yes.
So yeah. Asante sana Joseph. Straight to the point. He asks, this deal is too good, Onjeri. Does it have any disadvantage to it?
Joseph, it is as clear. I mean, you know, local broadcast, there's no way. So it is as clear as you see it. And what would I say would be the disadvantage? It means you'll have to be disciplined financially. Yeah, a lot of us would want to be carefree and not worry about tomorrow, which is a good thing, but I think it's a bubble. It's really, you know, being an ostrich and, you know, sinking your head in the sand. At one time, you've got to address it. So Joseph from Mombasa, what you see is what you get. So no hiding, no, you know. And a lot of youth are taking advantage. So get into the bandwagon, own that piece of home. I say this, and I repeat it many times to the young people when I speak to them.
Okay.
Even if you stayed in a house for 50 years and paid rent, you can never leave that house and tell the landlord, hey, I have paid, nimelipa kodi miaka 25, at least nipatie kitchen. You don't own a piece of that house. The beauty about this, even if you've paid for 10 years, what you have paid for 10 years, that's your own equity. And that's why we have a situation where people pay, akifikisha 10 years, anakuja anasema, sasa nimebuild my own equity, I want a top up.
Okay. And that goes to, I think, whatever is asking, and you're mentioning the whole financial discipline. You've definitely encountered this, and some of these questions as well. What I was asking earlier, it feels like a whole utopia bit that you're able to actually pay. Now, for this case, you want a home about 2.7 million, and you have to pay 24,000 roughly for the next 25 years. But there are those years that either biashara yenye unafanya haiende vizuri, iko chini, ama siku moja boss akwambie itabidi leo tukufute kazi. So before you actually get back to your feet for a year or so, itabidi uende chini pia. How do, and not only even KCB, how do even most banks, because I know you've interacted, you've worked in a number of banks, how do they ensure that I really want to be in this house, isifike 1 year out of job, nikuje nagongewa naambiwa for the past 12 months haujakuwa ukilipa, toka.
So, and you're right. 2020 COVID happened.
Yeah.
And what happened? A lot of businesses closed. A lot of employees lost their jobs. They were retrenched.
We can get back to our seats.
Yeah.
We'll be back here.
Yeah. So a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were retrenched. And they came back to us and they said, look, I had an income, now I don't have an income. What do I do? So we have developed different instruments to be able to accommodate customers. We did a lot of restructures. We did a lot of rescheduling for the facilities. And I normally tell people, you know, just like a doctor, you don't run away because you're more ill from the doctor. So do not run away from the banker just because you cannot be able to meet your obligations. Come back to your banker, have a discussion, say, this is what I'm going through. What instruments do you have? So we can restructure the facilities. We gave moratoriums. In fact, some of the customers are still enjoying the moratoriums from the effects of 2020 COVID. We can give you, and moratorium is really like, can I call it like a holiday? A loan repayment holiday where you're not paying anything at all.
All right.
Yeah, we gave restructures where, you know, maybe you had 10 years, we extended that to 20 years just to bring the repayment lower. So we have different instruments. The problem is, just as I said, just like a doctor, so is a banker.
Okay.
When you get more into financial stress, don't run away. Sit on the table with your banker. Yeah, because it doesn't mean you will get better by running away.
Yeah.
Don't bury your head in the sand. Come and have a conversation. And KCB especially, I speak for KCB, we are a listening bank. We will listen, we will work with you, and we will get a solution.
Right.
Yeah.
A couple of questions here for you, Jerry. The WhatsApp number 0793 267 279. andika sahi. As you send it, I'll be asking her directly. A couple of people who have already done that, and I'll be doing that as well. The first one here, Onyoni #Nyamira. Thank you, Onyoni. You only provide house mortgage on, or even motor vehicle? That's the first question. All right, I'm Victor, you have a caller. John kutoka wapi? Hello, John kutoka Nairobi.
Hello.
Asante sana kwa kutupigia. Do you have a question ama ni feedback?
Question.
Yes, ask.
Apart from paying 25 years, what if I pay within 10 years?
Okay. You ask about the range of time in paying this. Thank you, John. Thank you, John, for that. Yes.
Yeah. So I can go to the guy from Nyamira. I forget the name. Yeah.
Okay. Onyoni.
Onyoni. Remind me the question.
So Onyoni asking, you only provide house mortgage or even motor vehicle?
Oh yes, we do. We are a financial hub. So you want a motor vehicle finance? We have a whole unit that does asset-based finance. So yes, we can finance you for the vehicle as well. Then for John, who has asked...
so he's asking, because for all the hypotheticals we've used here,
25
on the
years,
screen for the 25 years.
Yes. So it doesn't mean you've committed for 25 years, you have to pay for 25 years.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of sharp people who are better financial managers, what they do is within the time I might get a windfall, I might get a bonus, is that they actually shorten the 25 to even 10. So you don't have to tie yourself to 25 years.
Okay.
And there's no penalty for paying your loan early.
Okay.
There is no penalty at all. So today you can be at 2.7 million and you say, I've gotten 1 million. Come kill that down by 1.7. You can either choose to say, I want my repayment cut down to 12,000, or I want you to retain my repayment because I want to finish this loan within 10 years.
Right.
So there's no penalty to that. That is just to give you the flexibility. Remember, the longer the term, the less that you pay on a monthly.
Okay.
But if your income, you get every year we get annual reviews and your salary goes up. Come to your banker, put in a lump sum, and say, can I hit on my principal to reduce the loan?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think also what he was asking was, does it have to be 25 years or restricted to 10 years? And I think you've rightfully answered on that. Other questions? Let me see. Okay, so he says, I'm Daniel on mortgage, number 1. Ameandika maswali tatu, well broken down. Thank you, Daniel. Number 1, what is the difference between it and a normal bank loan? I think, what is the difference between a mortgage and a normal bank loan? We can start with that before we go to the other questions.
So a mortgage, first of all, is long-term. And it's a loan towards a loan. So the only difference is that it's a long-term loan that specifically goes towards home ownership. You can walk into the bank and you can get any other type of loan. You can get car loan that John was asking about. You can get a working capital loan. But a mortgage is specifically for home ownership. Okay. It tends to be long-term. It is very rare. Actually, there may be, it's unlikely that there are other products that will extend up to 25 years.
What is the minimum number of years that I can take for the mortgage?
Even 3 months, if your income can allow. So even it starts from 1 month to, it depends on how you feel.
Okay.
What exactly you want. So that's the only difference, is that a mortgage is a loan towards your home. And we secure ourselves against that house.
Right.
So you don't need to come in with any other additional security. The bank takes a charge of the title for that home.
More questions are still coming in on jury. For Daniel's second question, can a civil servant be able to take mortgage? Like if I commit 31,000 cash shillings?
Oh yes, and the beauty with civil servants, we have financed over 7,000 civil servants.
Okay.
They are able to borrow at 5%.
Oh, instead of the
from as low as 5%, yes.
Okay.
So actually, if you're a civil servant, you already have, we've been running the affordable housing scheme for civil servants for the last over 10 years.
Okay.
We have over 7,000 that have already benefited. So if you're a civil servant, just walk to any of our branches. We will tell you which scheme you fall under. You actually can be able to borrow at 5%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So his third one, what if someone has committed his payslip fully, 2/3?
So one of the things that we do as a bank goes beyond just lending, and one of the things we do is also financial advisory. So we'll be able to look at your payslip, look at, you know, what are these commitments, what can you cut out, what can we do a consolidation. We even have instances, by the way, where, you know, we come and find that, because there are many people, you remember the example I gave where you want to buy a plot?
Yeah.
They probably went and took a personal loan, and so it's committed, and when you check through, you find out the personal loan was actually to buy a plot. So we are able to take that, amalgamate, and extend, give you additional money, give you a longer period, and then you're able to adjust that.
Right.
But our role goes beyond lending. We
Right.
play a role of advisory,
Right.
just to, you know, to make sure that your financial planning is. So that work to your banker can be a very fruitful one.
Fantastic. Another one, Gray from Andai Utawala says, morning, thanks for the show. My question is, I'm a hustler who pays a bed sitter in Utawala at 5,000 per month. For me, I'm comfortable with a package of 3,000 per month for 25 years. How can I acquire the house, and how is the process of payment? And more questions are coming in. I don't know if we'll have enough time to package all this, but najua tukimaliza utatupatia a contact that they can direct these questions to you. So to Agray's question?
So yes, Agri, who's the hustler?
Yes.
It's possible for you. As I said, if you look through, and many people don't know, there are actually houses that go even as low as 1.5 million. And looking at his income profile, he says he's comfortable with 3,000.
Yes.
So if we put 1 million and put in the calculator, you'll actually note that the repayment will go, it will be slightly higher than the 3,000. But my advice to him would be start the journey of owning a plot with the purpose of eventually building. And you see, the good thing is that, and we always pray that we get better as we go on. I want to believe he'll move from being a hustler to become a mwenyeji. So I would advise, and we have a listing of, you know, areas where we have plots. Let him start with the journey of owning a plot, and then he can later come in and build. So.
All right. Another one, hi, I'm Martin, a good conversation indeed. My question is, I have a piece of land in my rural home. If my plan is to build a mansion, can they do it on my behalf?
So I will say yes and no. We can do it on your behalf. We want you to customize your own home. My only disclaimer is, if you own land in a rural setup, one of the things you need to find out is whether it's agricultural land. We are restricted. You cannot, you cannot charge a property that's within agricultural land. But if it is not, we can. We will not build it on your behalf. We allow you to choose your professional team for construction, your architect, your QS. We allow you to do all that. All we do is to check that your cash flows can actually be able to repay the loan. So we will not do it on your back. We will advance the finances. We will lead you to the right professionals to use to do the construction. But I will not say we will do it on your behalf. We will allow you to be able to customize your house the way you want it to be.
Right. Jeremy says, hi, good morning. My question is, if the interest rates are constant all through the payment period?
So under affordable housing, yes, it is fixed for the period of 25 years. So that's the beauty. And that's why, looking at our demographics and the way we have a number of big youth, we are encouraging a lot of young people. Anybody, 20 and above, because, Kenyans nowadays are, I met some people at 20 who are already making some income. 20 and above, take advantage because it is fixed.
But then
you don't have the, yes, under the affordable housing, that 9.5, once you sign your offer letter and you've committed, it's fixed. It will never change.
Someone would want to ask this. For right now, 2024, all the way to 25 years, governments come and change and administrations change. The financial institutions in the country, they definitely change. Will this impact that interest rate percentage?
It will not. Remember, it's a partnership between KCB and Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. Yeah? It's got nothing to do with the...
Okay.
Yeah? So it is, whether government it is fixed, it is contractual. You can actually take me to court if I go and change that contract. So under affordable housing, the 9.5% is fixed for the tenure of the loan.
Right.
It is, you're protected, totally fully protected to the end of the loan.
Another question for you. Hello, my name is Tom. My salary is just 43,000. What is the cheapest unit and how much does it cost and where are they located? Okay,
so Tom, first of all, I said it is not good to commit more than a third of your income. So if you say your salary is 43,000, do a third of that. So that gives you a comfortable level of, and I can quickly do that, of what it is you should pay on a monthly basis. Allow me to just calculate that. So
a third of 43,000.
43, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That comes to times
So
3.
we are
About 13,000 shillings. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So for you, you shouldn't commit yourself beyond 13,000. And I think we did do some calculations already just by looking here. That's like half of 2.7. So a unit that's going for 1.5, 1 million, you will qualify, and they're there. Just get in touch with us. I will be giving the contacts for our website, www.kcbgroup.com, and I will also be giving numbers that you can be able to call for you to be able to reach us, to be able to guide you where the properties are. But if you go to our website, www.kcbgroup.com, go to look for the property center section, you will see a listing of property with all prices, from the highest to the lowest. There are plots inside there, and choose one, and there will be contacts within the website.
Right.
Yeah.
Another one here. Have you extended salary check-off to 132 months? He says his name is Daniel.
Okay. So yes, we have extended. I don't think to 120. I think we've extended to 120. I would need to check that. But we have extended the check-off facility within which I'll need to get back clearly on that.
Right.
But I know we recently did extend it to a longer period.
For someone hearing this terminology, the salary check-off to that number of months, what does it mean?
So check-off is, we do get into arrangements with employers where there's deduction at source.
Okay.
So from your payroll, they actually deduct the money and submit to the bank.
Oh, okay.
That makes your borrowing cheaper because then it's less risky. We know then you don't get it and decide, do I pay the bank, So a lot of the personal loans that we give in the bank will be through check-off, where we have an arrangement with the employer and they deduct from your salary before you get your net income, and that is remitted to the bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what he's referring to.
Right.
Yeah.
And if there are any other questions, final one here from Machakos. I'm just saying good morning. Good morning to you, Richard Nyakundi. I know this is that whole time of even just trying to wrap it up, but then it would be a call to action to these young people, as you're saying, who is a huge demographic out here, and they're listening to you, and they're debating, should I get into this?
Yeah.
It definitely looks amazing when you tell someone you earn about this particular number. This is what you get. Yeah. What do you need to do? But then even as you answer that, a question has just come in. It's Vince. What if I die before paying all your debt? How will you get your money back?
We will not get our money back. Insurance will compensate us.
Okay.
Your house will be, even if you've only paid 2 months, the house will go back to whoever you have registered as next of kin. One of the things when you come to apply for your mortgage, you have to declare to us who your next of kin is. So that will be paid off. And that is why within the mortgage repayment, we have a mortgage protection cover that covers your life. So if anything happens and you die, then the house is left to you. And they don't pay. They don't pay a cent.
Right. The question that on the guy who had asked, Daniel had asked about 3 questions. Yeah. He's asked others on salary checkoff. He's asking what is your current interest, and number 2, repayment period, mostly with the TSC.
So the interest rate, as I said, it's an arrangement with employers, and it depends on the employer. So interest rates will vary based on the employer that we have in. The tenor will also vary based on the employer that we have with.
He's mentioned here TSC. I don't know, Daniel, if you mean the Teacher Service Commission, could tell us more. But then, let's say, for example, for TSC, how will that vary?
So for TSC, I know we recently did increase the tenure. I would need to get back and really get the exact, but we've increased the tenure for TSC for unsecured. I want to believe he means unsecured, yeah, which is different from mortgage.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yeah.
Even as these questions come in, the same question on matters call to action. How would you really convince these young people to get on board on matters mortgage, and how beneficial is it for them?
I think it's part of, we all want good things in life, isn't it? We all want to be prepared for the future. And I keep saying the time for investment starts like yesterday. If you didn't start yesterday, today is an opportunity for you to start. You've listened, you've watched this program. Take that step and start. The journey of building your wealth starts with that first step. And home ownership is actually part of the first journeys to building your wealth. I can tell you a number of people who are my age. A lady does not tell their age, but I can tell you a number. Yeah, I can tell you a number of people who are my age who started small. They started by buying a house in Buruburu. They moved to South Sea. They moved to Lavington. They're now in Runda.
It's a whole lot.
All this is a build. They've been building their wealth.
Yeah.
So it's a pathway to building your wealth.
Right.
So my question would be, do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to plan for your future? Do you want to get into that journey? So take that first step. And the day is today, not tomorrow, today.
Right.
Yeah.
Contacts, because the questions are still coming in, and they definitely now would want to direct them to you, either if you're comfortable for your personal line or for KCB's line somewhere where they can get clearance on these questions.
Okay. So for anybody that wants more information, you can go to our website, www.kcbgroup.com. Within there, there's a section for KCB property. If you get inside there, we have everything. Even the mortgage calculator, what we are doing here, what we're doing today here on studio, you'll be able to calculate your mortgage. You'll be able to get properties that are there. You'll see the values. All those guys that have called from Mombasa, Kisumu, Nyamira, Eldoret, you'll be able to actually see the properties that are in different areas. There will be contacts there in terms of emails that you can get in touch with. I don't want to give generic here because calls have come from all over the country.
Yes.
The beauty is that we are all over. We have over 200 branches across the country. So if you can't walk to the branch, get into our website. We are very active on our social media handles.
Right.
KCB, just go to your, whether it's your LinkedIn or your Facebook, go to KCB, make your inquiry there. It will be answered spot on.
Right. Wanjiri is saying kazi kwako sasa. Thank you very much, Caroline Wanjiri. She is the Director of Mortgages Businesses at KCB Group. Thank you very much for having this conversation with us. I have learnt a lot. I don't know about you, if you were having your pen there. I had all this just to take notes. Again, are you comfortable with having your phone number or?
Yes, I can give my phone number,
yes.
0720 766 516.
Could you say it again slowly?
0720 766 516. Feel free to reach me.
Right.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you very much. Right now, though, I want to, again, just to remind you that we'll be beaming for you live pictures in a few, all the way in State House, where President William Ruto is expected to officially launch the candidacy for Raila Odinga's chairmanship for the Africa Union bid. And as you can see,